Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Yoshshaalia Israel. This is Yermiyah Yoshshaalia Benyahrael. This is Real Talk, along with Lakarisha, Maisha. And this is part 7 of Return to Your Original Origins. And what it is that the Most High is using me to bring to the nation of Yashar, which is the nation of Israel, the so-called African Americans, the so-called West Indians, those of the 12 tribes of Israel. Whether you live in the Caribbeans, Central America, South America, those of you who were brought to a land through your forefathers and foremothers by the way of slavery, chains. His message to you is to leave and flee Babylon. Revelations 18:4, come out of her. We've been here long enough. If any of you get a chance to get a hold of the writings, the old scrolls, the law scrolls of the war scrolls, you will find out that we will be living in the wilderness. And the place where we be living at, according to those scriptures, we will be living around Hamites in the wilderness, not inside of Jerusalem. And for those who do not know, Jerusalem is not built up. That place where those false Israelites who call themselves Jews are living, that is not the city of David. That might be a part of Jerusalem, but it's not the city of David, nor is it the city of light. So the temple was destroyed, as the Messiah said. It still lays in ruins. Maisha, Lakarisha is going to read out of 2nd Esdras, and it's chapter 16, starting at verse 40.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So he said, in those evils, meaning in those days of problems, turmoils. Right now, we live in evil days. GMOs, polluted water, polluted land, polluted animals. It can't get no evil than this. Homosexuality is on a top level. All these hip-hop stars coming out with dresses. Everybody coming out feminine. Lord Jamal, that's his name, rap name was Lord Jamal. I'm going to call him Jamal. Jamal from the Brand Nubians and Marlon Wayans were arguing. Was it on Facebook or Skype or no, it was on Twitter. Arguing about Omar Epps wearing a dress. And Marlon Wayans defended Omar Epps. And when Lord Jamal, who was from Brand Nubian, said to him, all you want is to have access to these guys wearing dresses, Marlon Wayans did not stand up and say, that is a wrong accusation against me, I'm not homosexual. He said, so what, or and. I'm not really sure of what he said, but what he said was not the right thing that he should have said. He should have said, how dare you accuse me of being homosexual? How dare you? He said, man, we ain't living in the 90s. This is a new millennium, or whatever he said about this is a new time. So every time you hear that gay is the new black, they're trying to promote homosexuality amongst our people because they know that out of all the sins we can commit, sins against the flesh is the worst ones we can commit because that leads to death. Rather it's committing sins, homosexuality with man on man, woman with woman, or committing whoredom, being a whoremonger, dealing with all these different females, committing adultery, or you being a woman, being a whore, sleeping around with all these men, you will die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it that you're not going to catch some type of disease or some type of wrath for laying around and committing sex crimes. You will reap the benefits from that. Trust me. Read.
He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. That they marry as they that shall not get no children, and that they marry not as the widows. And therefore they that labor, labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery. The more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their skin, said the Most High.
For their what?
For their skin. No, I'm sorry, for their sin. The more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Most High. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face. When he cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth. And therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. Let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head.
Read.
For the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which said before the Most High in his glory, I have not sinned.
Before the Most High in his glory, meaning that the Most High see everything you do. So when you are confronted with your sins, let me explain something to y'all. This goes for every human being. If the Most High loves you, he's going to confront you with your sins. He's going to tell you, and every time you deny it, you anger him. Because he's trying to help you. What he's trying to help you do is stop being an effing fool. And stop lying to yourself. Because he sees everything you do. He's trying to tell you, listen, every time this is presented to you, it might have been presented to you last year, it might have been presented to you 10 years ago. But every time this same subject comes up to you, it's because this is what you're doing. And I'm tired of it. And I'm letting you know you need to stop it. Because I see it. And most of us, what we do, we become very defensive. That ain't what I'm doing. You accusing me of things I ain't done. And the Most High telling you, I see everything you do, and I'm going to use everybody around me to expose you. Because I'm trying to save your soul from total damnation. Read.
Behold, the Most High knoweth all the works.
The Most High know what?
All the works of men.
He knows what?
All the works of men.
Some of the works?
All the works.
He knows all your doings. Everything you do, everything you think. Read it again.
Behold, the Most High knoweth all the works of men.
Everything that you do, you think about. When you lay in your bed and you thinking about, I wish I had a man here, and you're going to touch yourself. The Most High know where that thought came from. Everything that you think about, stealing, robbing, committing adultery, laying with somebody else, lusting on somebody else. Think about stealing from your job. Think about stealing from your neighbor. He knows every single thought and action that you do. You've been listening to Yermiyah Yoshshaalia Benyahrael, and this is Real Talk. Shalom.